Coming up on the AFN Europe Report.
A dining facility in Afghanistan takes the name of an airman who made the ultimate sacrifice.
Airman believed in this mission, and to a certain degree he was pursuing his dream.
And we go to Georgia to see how U.S. and Georgian soldiers set up a communication hub for immediate response 08. Plus, American soldiers in Kosovo visit local farmers to give livestock the vaccines they need.
Those stories and more.
Your station, your stories.
The AFN Europe Report starts now.
Good evening and thanks for joining us. I'm Specialist Jennifer Gold. The war on terrorism is often a reminder of how precious life is. The passing of any service member impacts all members of the unit, squad, or team. Airmen in Afghanistan dedicated a dining facility to a fellow airman as a reminder of how much he had an impact on them.
As the old Lion Dining Facility becomes the Senior Airman Jonathan Yellner DFAC, it's a reminder to all that no one is guaranteed tomorrow. On April 29, 2008, Senior Airman Yellner was driving a Humvee on a provincial reconstruction team mission when his vehicle was struck by an improvised explosive device. The blast killed him instantly. While he is no longer with us, he defined his work with excellence, dedication, and passion.
It's what Airman Yellner wanted to do. We're all volunteers here, so we want to be here. We believe in this mission. Airman Yellner believed in this mission, and to a certain degree he was pursuing his dream.
His passing was a reminder to the lives around him that life is precious.
Any death in a family, in a group like this, in any kind of organization, it makes everyone realize what's really important. I mean, you've got to really pay attention to your friends, your family. You've got to realize to you what's important in your life.
Senior Airman Jonathan A.B. Yellner.
After a memorial service on the 1st of May, his fellow service members gathered this weekend to dedicate this DFAC in his memory. And while the DFAC may bear his name, it's Afghanistan that continues to bear freedom because of his effort. Senior Airman Rob Joswiak, Bagram Airfield, Afghanistan.
Immediate Response 08 is in full swing in the Republic of Georgia. Both Georgian and U.S. soldiers are preparing for a joint training mission.
At the Vaziani training area, where temperatures are hovering above 90 degrees on the parade field, these CTAF soldiers are hard at work, setting up the Georgian Tactical Operations Center, or TALK.
Today we're just going to finish setting up the J tent, which is a drash with the Georgian soldiers. And then we're going to set them up so they could use it as a tactical operation command post.
As the temperatures increase in the heat of the afternoon, so does the progress on the TALK. When finished, the Operations Center will house equipment the Georgian Army will need to communicate with the rest of the combined forces throughout the Immediate Response 08, or IR-08, exercise.
They're going to be learning how to operate as an Army, how to take in commands from up higher, and then so that command could distribute the information lower, to the lower echelons, just like how our Army operates.
IR-08 personnel spent the past week gearing up for the exercise, which officially kicks off July 15th. Specialist Randall Pike, Vaziani Training Area, Tbilisi, Georgia.
Living in a remote area of the world can often mean essential supplies are sparse. Service members in Kosovo made sure the local community critters were well cared for.
Kosovo forces assisted local farmers in Leskovica recently, conducting a veterinary civil assistance program, or VetCap. K-49 veterinarians were preparing their K-410 counterparts to take over the mission as part of the regular rotation process. K-49 veterinarian Captain James Neal describes the right seat, left seat training.
Basically what we do with the right seat, left seat is we like to introduce the new incoming veterinarian to the people that they need to know, the routes that they need to use to get to the different places.
During a VetCap, soldiers go out into the local community and evaluate livestock. K-410 veterinarian officer Dana Dobbs describes VetCap procedures.
The only things we're able to really provide is deworming for the cattle and the sheep, and also rabies vaccinations for the dogs. and then, you know, just interacting with the community and finding out what's going on out there. It's just a really nice thing to do.
Reporting from Kosovo, I'm Specialist Sarah Lopescu.
Communication can be a problem for airmen when they are working with the local and military fire department. However, that was not the case in this special exercise emergency scenario.
When you hear the alarm and you see the smoke, it's comforting to know someone equipped to handle emergency situations is on their way. Fortunately today, the Lodges Fire Department is only conducting an exercise at the Child Development Center.
The purpose of today's exercise was to demonstrate our capabilities to properly enter and extinguish a fire and safely extract the victim from the building.
At Lodges Field, American and Portuguese firefighters work side by side. When practicing life-saving scenarios like this one, cultural and language differences are not an issue.
Exercises are important here at Lodges Field. It helps us demonstrate our job to the community and keeps us sharp on our skills.
Airman First Class Jonathan Porter, Lodges Field, Azores.
Everybody has a story, and if you'd like to share yours, we'd love to hear from you. Send your story idea via email to stories@afne.army.mil. Plus, don't forget, you can also look us up on the web. We're at afneurope.net. All the stories you've seen on the AFN Europe Report are available on our website. Once there, you can view, save, and send these stories to anyone you'd like. And coming up, one man visits Germany to crack up one community on happy hour. Stay with us. Abusing alcohol and drugs is a serious life-changing decision. We introduce you to one man using comedy and life experience to get his point across.
I'd be like, hey, Sarge, if you do me anything at 0400, why don't you be quiet?
Bernie McGrenahan has been performing for military audiences all over the world.
Thought I wanted to do a little more than just make people laugh and maybe put a little bit of a message out as well. About drinking and drugs, and it was part of my past. I know it very well.
We make bad decisions, man. We're inappropriate sexually and we're stupid logically. My stupid logical decision drunk that night was that I could actually drive if I just didn't drink for the next 3 hours.
It cost me a lot of good things in my life. I lost because of drinking, even though I tried to convince myself I had it under control.
Bernie has no military experience, but feels drawn to our troops.
Just because of what I know it takes and the courage it takes to lay your life on the line for your country and to be deployed. And I'm so humbled by such bravery that I have a love for the military, for men and women defending their country. I mean, that to me is so humbling to me as a person. I feel so small in front of these guys, these men and women.
Part of Bernie's show is teaching about the effects of drugs and alcohol from his own experience.
Break down all those old myths, go talk to somebody, and maybe they can inspire you to make a change and help you get there quicker and maybe save your job. Because if you don't, I promise you, if you drink several nights a week or if you got a problem with it, it's going to catch up with you and it's going to take you out.
Sergeant Daniel Dooley, Schweinfurt, Germany.
Military life can cause many difficulties for many married couples. Thankfully, military families have an abundance of resources to help themselves. Air Force Sergeant Alana Ingram sat in with some couples who did just that.
When people think of GWOT, or Global War on Terror funds, they often think of supplies or equipment. However, in the case of the Airmen and Family Readiness Centers at RAF's Lakenheath and Mildenhall, it's more closely associated with marriage. Several times a year, these two centers work together to help recently reunited couples reconnect and bridge some of the communication gaps that happen during deployments. And they use GWOT funds to pay for it.
The GWOT funding has been used for the last 3 years to help fund this.
people who are coming back from deployment, there's a lot of issues that they may be dealing with. The headquarters recognize that.
Participants were taken through a series of exercises, some where they worked directly with their spouse. For some couples, that was their primary reason for going.
We want to be able to better understand each other and improve our communication skills.
While for others, simply there isn't enough time for them to actually be together.
It's been an ongoing thing throughout our marriage, the 5 or 6 years we've been married. It's been ongoing. He's leaving, and then when he returns, I leave.
The marriage retreat isn't designed to save marriages. The coordinators aren't naive enough to think a 2-day group seminar can do that. But they are confident that they're giving the tools to help these couples reconnect and begin the healing process. Staff Sergeant Alana Ingram, Dunstan Hall, Norwich, United Kingdom.
Students in Germany are learning at a very young age to pay it forward and give back to others.
Reading material, favorite drinks, or some yummy treats are some of the items the students and volunteers at Spangdahlem Middle School are sending to the troops downrange. For SMS Principal Dr. Elizabeth Childs, this is a great opportunity for her students.
Yes, we're taking care of each other and we're teaching the kids how to pay it forward, how to give back.
Most children learn how to give back at an early age through sharing. These Spangdahlem students are no different, learning to just give without expecting anything in return. For students like 6th grader Eric Martin, giving has its own rewards.
It feels great to be doing that because I know somebody would probably do the exact same for me.
And hopefully that spirit of giving and charity will continue to spread with the help of these middle schoolers. Staff Sergeant Lovely Neary is Spangdahlem Air Base, Germany.
And coming up, we'll show you one band on tour on a mission to thank the troops. Stay with us.
There's not much you can get for $1 these days. Or is there? Subscribe to Stars and Stripes for $1 a week. If you're in a delivery area, on or off installation, get Stars and Stripes delivered to your home every day. Enjoy your daily copy with your morning coffee without ever leaving the house. Stay informed and entertained with Stars and Stripes, your hometown newspaper. Visit www.stripes.com and click on Get Our Paper. For $1 a week, you can't afford not to take advantage of it.
Hey, you Safi. I'm Rockman Dunbar, and I'm honored to be here in Europe. I just wanted to say to you, thank you. Thank you for your hard work. Thank you for your dedication to this country. I also wanted to remind you to be safe. Take your time when you're traveling. Rest a little bit. And never drink and drive. Remember, it's your life. It's your choice. Choose wisely.
Well, not everyone in Sigonella, Italy may have known the band Hinder, but after a thank you concert, they may now be familiar with them.
It started off as another typical summer afternoon in Sigonella, with temperatures in the mid-90s and a cool breeze blowing across the base. As the day turned to night, however, the scene changed. On a tour for the troops, the rock and roll band Hinder made a stop in Sigonella to wrap things up.
We've had a great time. This is our last show, and it's been a killer place to end up. So
the band's tour has taken them to places like Bahrain, Djibouti, and even aboard the USS Peleliu. But for some of the fans in Sigonella, they are just grateful for the chance for some good music and time away from the stress of work.
And the best thing, you know, we have people back home in the States, bands, famous bands coming here to support us and know that we have a support from our country whom we serve. So it's a big old thank you to Hinder, big old thank you to NWR, and hopefully this won't be the last one.
While it was many of the fans in the crowd who were thankful for the free concert, they weren't the only ones who had something to say.
Thank you guys for everything. You fight for our freedom, and that means so much to us. Like, this is the least we can do. So thank you very much for everything.
The band finished recording their latest studio album before they left the States for this tour. You can look for it to hit the shelves around November. Seaman Adam Wolf, Sigonella, Italy.
And that's all the time we have tonight. For everyone here at the AFN Europe Report, thank you for watching and have a great night.